So, Donald Trump, a man who has constantly floated around the idea of running for a third term, whose minions have even tried to introduce bills in Congress to allow such a third term, that man has refused to endorse his vice president, J.D. Vance, as his successor. Watch.
President Trump refusing to say, this was pretty stunning, refused to say that his vice president is his successor. I mean, this is the person where if Trump falls down dead would be the president in that moment, right? But he is refusing to say that J.D. Vance would be his successor or that he would endorse him in 2028.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Now, Donald Trump, a man who has constantly floated around the idea of running for a third term, a man whose minions and henchmen and little peons have tried to write up bills in Congress to allow dear leader himself to run for a third term, but not Obama and not Bush. These people are showing you exactly who they are. And this nation is sleepwalking in a drowsy state of denial toward dictatorship, toward autocracy, toward the destruction of everything that makes this country what it is. A sleepwalk of denial. That's not exactly how Donald Trump said it would be. I mean, he's not going to really do that. He's just saying it. That's exactly what's happening. Sleepwalking. The fact that Donald Trump does not even endorse his own vice president to be his successor. Donald Trump, I don't even need to remind all of you, this is a man who used every single option available to steal an election last time. This man had his supporters come to the Capitol. This man tried to use the Department of Justice to file false claims of fraud. This man tried to use false electors. This man did everything he could to avoid taking what we common little peons, us peasants, would take. It's called an L. Donald Trump was willing to get his own supporters, and he succeeded in that aspect, by the way. He succeeded in that venture. He was willing to get his own supporters killed, and by God did he succeed. One of them got popped in the neck. And this man loses no sleep. Not one drop of sweat touches his brow. He runs for president yet again. That's the kind of man we're dealing with. When a man is willing to see his own supporters lie in a pool of their own blood in the Capitol for his own sake, you know for a damn fact that he means what he says when he refuses to endorse his own VP to be his successor. When the man sits there and jokes about, I run for a third term, I run. When he sits there and jokes about that shit, he's not joking. It's not jovial. It's not done in jest. It's most certainly serious. He means it. He most certainly means it. And I hope J.D. Vance realizes you are just a piece on the board. These people will clash because I can tell you this, Donald Trump would sooner see Don Jr. sniff his way to the top and become president over his vice president, J.D. Vance. Donald Trump would sooner enact a monarchy than share the power, than to relinquish the power. I'm curious to see when Elon Musk eventually fucks up beyond belief, when J.D. Vance is trying to, squeeze his way a little bit into power and say, I'm here too, Trump, I'm here too. I'm curious to see what Trump will do. Because if there's one thing Donald Trump has shown consistently is loyalty is something he expects to be given to him, but not something he gives to others. So Elon and Vance, y'all too is on borrowed time. These people will destroy one another before they completely destroy us. I guarantee you. I guarantee I guarantee these people this movement will be ripped asunder by all of these people having their own different plots and schemes. JD Vance is a peon and a minion of Peter Thiel. Elon Musk is in it for himself. Donald Trump thinks he's God. These kinds of folk and all this kind of energy, they might be able to use one another for the time being, but trust and believe this will crumble. Anything built on foolishness and nincompoop activity will most certainly fail. No foolishness formed against this nation could ever possibly work. That's just the reality of it. I just want Elon and Vance to keep this in mind. This man won't even endorse his own vice president. Again, I say, this lends credence to not even the narrative, to the truth that Donald Trump does not want to relinquish power. Because keep in mind, JD Vance has the charisma of a pebble, a piece of paper, any inanimate object that you don't pay much attention to. That's JD Vance. JD Vance is not the kind of person who can make people charge into the Capitol and die. I'm just keeping it 100. He can't talk to save his life. He's a bum. Trump knows that. He knows if Vance runs against somebody and Trump decides to be nice and let democracy run, if he decides to do that, and Vance is not beating Kamala Harris. I'm sorry. If Kamala decides to boss up and say, I ain't going nowhere, y'all gonna see me. If she decides to do that, Vance is gonna lose. And guess where Trump is going? Jail. Vance, jail. MTG, jail. All these niggas, Elon most certainly, jail. That's where they going. Trump ain't risking that. He is going to stay in until the day he dies. And that's even, I don't even know if he thinks he can die. Donald Trump is in a completely different realm of like, man, y'all manifestation girlies who think y'all got control of y'all. Trump is operating on a Trump, hey bro, Trump the luckiest nigga I've ever seen. Trump really be manifesting, bro. So I'm going to leave it at that. The reality is Donald Trump is most certainly not going to relinquish power. Donald Trump is a hoarder of power. Donald Trump refuses to ever share. Donald Trump refuses to engage in peaceful transitions of power. Donald Trump cheats, he scams, he frauds. And I can tell you this for sure. The Republican Party will schism from within. They will schism between Trump's inability to accept the peaceful transition of power, Elon Musk not knowing how to shut the fuck up and not fly too close to the sun, and JD Vance being the minion of these conservative billionaires. This pie ain't gonna stick together for long. So we all know what it is. We all know exactly what it is. But I'll tell you this, Donald Trump is the exact buffoon and narcissistic nincompoop that he's always been presented to be by the mainstream media. Donald Trump is in it for himself. Donald Trump is in it for his own gratification and for his own ego. That's all it's about. That is all this is about. So folks, buckle up, because this man is not going to allow normal elections to take place. This man is not going to allow for peaceful transitions of power. This man and the movement he represents is willing to go down fighting, and it will drag down the United States, not just its democracy, but the fabric of this nation. What binds us together, they are willing to drag it all down to hell. So prepare yourselves. That's all I can say.